Okay, here we go. I'm going to be trying to show you how I'm doing this. We're going to be doing a grid drawing, starting out with a picture of a person, in this case my son, a ruler, some pencils, and a bigger piece of paper. I'm going to start by taking the picture and measuring the image that I'm going to be making it on, and then making them so they line up with each other. Obviously, my new paper is too big, so I'm going to measure it out, use that as my basis to figure out what the grid's going to look like on the picture that I have. Just like to note, the picture that you're using here should not be something you want to keep because you're going to draw right directly on it and ruin it in the process. In a minute here, I figure out that my bigger sheet is 11 by 14, and the image that I decided that I want, the part that I want to do of my son, is 6 by 8. But quickly looking at that, I realize if I went 5.5 by 7, that is actually exactly half of the size of the paper. So I decided to go that way, doing 1-inch grids over my son's face, and then I'm going to double that and make it 2 inches on each on the final paper. So essentially, I'm doubling the size of the image, which I'll then use to lay things out. Here, as I said, I'm going to be using inch grid by laying that out with my ruler and using the edges of my paper to make sure that it's square. I put 7 marks across, and since I'm doing 5.5, what I ended up doing was a 5.5 inches, and then you can see when I go to the big sheet of paper that I did the same thing I did in half. So the very last square is actually little rectangles. Um, and since it's the edge of the picture, there's not a lot there anyway, and it keeps things square, so it worked for me. Now, just as I said before, I'm going to be doubling the size. So where everything before was an inch, now I'm making them every 2 inches. That's going to allow me to double my image. It'll take me a little bit here, and then we'll start copying it over and making our work of art. The last thing I'm doing here is just labeling it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then little 6 on the end, and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So that now I know when I'm trying to reference a specific square, I can look and make sure I'm in the right spot.